Welcome to the Art and Science of Complex Sales, proudly presented by Membrain. This podcast is your gateway to mastering the craft of modern selling. If you're passionate about growth, impact, and unlocking full potential in sales and revenue, you're in the right place. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And now let's get started with today's guest. So 36 years ago, Robert Herbst had the realization that it was time to make an impact. And he decided that he was going to do it by falling in love all over again with the profession he'd chosen and helping more people master sales. So Robert spent decades developing sales forces through training, leadership, development, and coaching. He's got a focus on what makes salespeople truly effective: identity, purpose, and authenticity. He recently wrote a book. It's called Cheating Death. And today we're talking about the question he returns to again and again. And it starts with identity. Who am I? Why do I matter? And being able to transition that approach into mindset shaping, result shaping, impact. How we shape trust, how we overcome fear, and build practitioner approaches to sales, not just selling for selling's sake. Anyways, let's get started with Rob Herbst. Rob, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. This is awesome. Hey, everybody, I'm holding up this book. It's called Cheating Death. I just read it, and gotta say I'm about 9 chapters in, so I'm not at the end, but I love it. I love it. Great work. And I'm fascinated to hear more about the whole story and the creation and how you want to impact sales. So let's start at the beginning, though. Let's start at the beginning. Who is Rob? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, in a nutshell, I'm in sales. I've been in sales for over 40 years. I started a company 36 years ago now, all with the fascination of salespeople, sales forces, and developing them. So that's what I've been doing for 36 years, is working with companies to develop sales forces, which involves a lot of training, leadership training, sales manager training, and then the front line with people that sell.
And the name of that, the name of the company is Spire, right?
SpireSelling.com. And the genesis of Spire Selling came from my original company, Progressive Achievement Associates Limited, PAA Limited. Okay. So it's evolved and morphed. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to play spoiler, but I really would love it. Can we discuss how that series of events that got you started on starting your own sales company and really diving in and making a huge impact? Do you mind diving into that story? Because it is amazing, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's a fun story. It's very personal, but way back when my original training was as an engineer, I found out very quickly that I like people more than machines, and I had to round out my career from engineering and manufacturing into either marketing or sales, and I chose sales. So I went to work for Xerox, and worked there for 6 years, sales management, and I absolutely loved it. And in 1990, I got into mountaineering and went up on a mountain called Mount Robson. Convinced a buddy that we should do something foolish like that. And so up we went. Took us 4 days to get to the top. And on the way down, we had a fall. We took a fall at a crampon break, and we were roped up and got dragged down the mountain. And my buddy broke his leg. Thank God we didn't perish, but we at least stopped still very high up on the top. And we ended up stuck in a snow cave for a couple of nights. And in that whole progression into the second night, we ran out of fuel and ran out of food and everything, and we were going hypothermic. And so I never thought about death. I'd never thought about, this thing has an end. So it was very very enlightening actually to get to go through an experience like that and come to answer the questions: am I going to get out of this? Why am I here? What am I going to do with this life? If I get out of this, what will I do? And I decided I want to do something that helps people, and that sales in particular. I really got attached to sales and salespeople because I think they change the world. Without a salesperson, the world doesn't change. So I wanted to delve into that and explore that and really immerse myself in, all right, what am I doing as a salesperson? What am I doing with salespeople? What am I doing managing salespeople? Why are they so important? And I realized they are. So I came away from that event and I decided, you know what? I'm going to start a company and we're just going to work with salespeople. And that's what I did. And now it's 36 years later and I'm still fascinated with them.
I'm so thankful that you are, because I tell people the same thing. I love the people in the profession, and there's nothing that is in my office, there's nothing around that has been made or here that hasn't been sold at one point, right?
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
So you start your book, and the reason that I connect with it so much is I have some very foundational beliefs around who I am, right? In terms of identity and how that connects with being a good salesperson. We need to come from a stable identity. And you start your book with the chapter that says, "Who am I?"
Mm-hmm.
And so why start there?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, Paul. I don't know if you've had the same experience when you're trying to help a salesperson up through their career, not just at the beginning, but throughout. And we tend to focus on skills, how to. And the how to, yes, there's human interaction techniques, right? Human conversation has skills. But in essence, words do two things. They describe things accurately and they connect people. Mm-hmm. So words should come from what's inside you, your questions, your curiosity. If you're going to help a customer and you want to find a problem to fix, if that's what's deep inside you, your curiosity is your identity. You don't manufacture your identity. You don't present an image. You're not performing. Mm-hmm. You're not giving out, you're not exuding, you're not presenting, you're actually, it's all intake. This customer is fascinating. I'm asking the customer, who are you and how are you experiencing your circumstances and your problem? How are you experiencing your problem? Not what do I have to offer? That will come. Mm-hmm. I will never forget to present something. if I have a solution, I will never forget to give it. But it starts with every customer by customer is just fascinating. They each have a fascinating circumstance. So the identity is an interesting thing, right? It's not us deciding what we're going to project. It's starting with my curiosity and my fascination with this other.
Well, and I just did an interesting research paper. It was fascinating, and I'll tell you some of the results. But this is going to be a long lead up to a question. But so I partner with a lot of sales experts around the world, and one of the things that it's fun to do is I did at the end of last year was kind of a meta-analysis of a lot of literature in the market. What the heck is going on in B2B sales? Mm-hmm. There's a interesting piece to that, though, which was the voice of the people that are working with leaders and working with sales teams. So sales experts around the world is what I decided to focus on. So I did this big survey and asked way too many questions, got all sorts of feedback like, Paul, this is too long. This took me 25 minutes to finish, but a lot of people finish it. So thank you so much for that. Mm-hmm. But it really came out that we've had a distinct failure of sales leadership is the ultimate thing that people are discussing over the past 20 years. And And it's coincided at the same time as kind of the assembly line. Let's create an assembly line nature of sales. Like always had it to some extent, but it's become much more prevalent, right? You have your SDR and go from A to B, and your whole goal as an SDR is all you got to do is make contact and set the meeting. See the person as they're a dial, right? The person, they're a dial. Just set a meeting, and then that goes to okay. Once we have an opportunity, we get to the second, and then the third layer, and the fourth. And while that's brought about some efficiency, it hasn't increased things like win rates. It hasn't increased things like effectiveness. And the measures of effective selling have not gone up, right? Deal sizes are not as big. Win rates are down. And my thesis is that there is this issue with coaching and developing salespeople. Like we've put it to the side, and you come at this directly from that standpoint. Like your first question, who am I? And then your second question, because do I matter? Right. So have you seen that type of investment in the identity and propping up a salesperson to understand truly why they matter? Like how does that impact results and impact teams?
Yeah, I mean it's a very interesting question, especially the way you started it from the sales manager, the coach. I wish more people would become sales managers. I wish there was a bigger lineup to become sales managers and sales coaches, because I definitely have seen that the upper third, the upper echelon of sales practitioners and sales managers, they get better once they understand this. That what is coaching actually? What does a sales manager actually do for that salesperson? Starting with, who are you? Why are you doing this? Because sales is hard, right? Every day you go out, you're gonna experience it's the big fear, right? Oh my God, rejection. Well, the strong salespeople don't experience that. They know why they're doing what they're doing. They're obsessed with I have to find something to fix. I have to find a problem to solve. So once you have that mindset, you are going into every situation, digging through the mess, digging through the dirt. So as a coach, to help a salesperson uncover their own ability to ask all these questions is critical. So instead of giving them a list of questions to ask a customer and turning them into robots, it's more important to fuel that curiosity and then coach the skills into that, if that makes sense. The sales manager, if the sales manager is going out and doing an infield travel day, which they should be, often, if they're doing that well with that salesperson, it should be very much about, what are you trying to use this day for? How's it serving you? How's it serving the customer? How are you experiencing this as a salesperson? Like turn the sales practitioner into your customer if you're the coach, right? How are you experiencing this day? Why are we going to see who we're seeing? What do you want to find out about them? What are you curious about? Tell me about their circumstances. Let's go find out what we don't know about this customer, and how much fun will that be? And it always comes down to, why are you doing this? Like every sales person is a different individual. Like I don't know why you got into sales. I know why I did, but I've never met two salespeople that give the same answer. It should be serving them. The vocation, the profession should be, you're helping customers and you're helping yourself. You're doing it for your own reason. If you do it that way, 10 years goes by just like that.
Yeah. So why did you get into, like, what was the reason?
Oh, dead honest. When I was in my early 20s, I was very, very insecure. I mean, I was an engineer. I was really good technically. I could talk about machines all day long, but I was very much like many young people. it didn't have the people skills that I wanted. I had trouble connecting, shy.
Yeah.
And I remember it was in, like, geez, I was about 23, 24 years old. I said, I don't like this. I got to fix this. And for some reason, I decided to confront it hard. And I remember I was working for this engineering company, and I got the job at Xerox. And I went in to talk to the guy at the very top at the engineering company. It was a manufacturing company. His name was Joe Van Gemeren, an old crusty guy. 450 union workers working for him. This guy was a hard ass. And I went and I told him, I said, yeah, Joe, so I'm going to move on. He says, where are you going? I said, I'm going to work for Xerox in sales. And he goes, the hardening process. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I remember my first week at Xerox, they expected you to make 50 cold calls a week. You make 50 cold calls, your shyness is gone in the first week. Mm-hmm. It's gone. So that's why I got into sales, and I thought, wow, this works.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a gift. It was just a gift. Go into sales, man. You can't lose. Like, you're just going to grow.
I started a sales as a service company like really early in my career. It was after like I had done sales for 4 to 5 years. I was like, I got this. Why not? So we started this company that was sales as a service. We'd hire, train, and manage for teams for other organizations. And our first hiring pool was essentially friends and family, like the very first three that we got, right?
Yeah.
And so my younger brother came on. And my younger brother's a doctor now. Like he came on, and we had him making cold calls for essentially it was a home manual. So you would it's something that when you buy a house, they'd come in and we would put all of your appliances and all that stuff. Get a manual that would come with the home. And so it was a pretty cool thing. And then you'd be able to sell advertising in those manuals. But he came fresh out of college, and he was scared to death. And this was the same type of thing. It's like, you're making 200. Sorry, buddy. You're making 200 calls a week.
Yeah.
But the transformation over the night, and he worked for us for 2 years, and the transformation was unbelievable. And I use that story as just the gift that it can be, right? Mm-hmm. Which is he went from scared to pick up the phone to try and talk to somebody to be an absolute gem of a inside salesperson. It was really what he hated was the perception of selling, somebody doesn't need this, they're not going to buy it. But when he started to get the concept of, I need to uncover this, and if they do want to buy it, it's a service. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. He really flourished. And then he took that, and he didn't want to be in sales his whole life. That's okay. But he keeps telling me, he's like, those years were like some of the best in my formation of now how to be able to stand up for myself and question and be a doctor and all that stuff. And it's just a gift. When people get it right, it's just an absolute gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to turn for a sales profession, for somebody in the sales profession, especially today where there is the absence of real conversation, in real-time two-way dialogue, for a person now to be into sales and have to not only be good at that, but to overcome the absence of it. Like you're actually a breath of fresh air now as a trained sales practitioner, somebody who speaks with people a lot, in dialogue, in conversation, real time, right? You are now a breath of fresh air. It's cathartic to talk with people.
Yeah,
what a weird time.
Conversation avoidance is what people want right now, right? Which is an interesting time. Yeah.
Yeah. Or do they, Paul? Like they just don't know that we're not having it, right? Till you point it out, and they go, "Yeah, I know."
Yes, true. Well, that takes me to your third chapter, which I really love, and it's really about perseverance and persistence, and it's how I read it, which is around, do I always feel like this, right? Or do I always feel like selling? And and it's interesting in a lot of my work outside of sales, I talk about how identity actually helps you overcome feelings. Like purpose and identity helps you actually behave beyond where your feelings would limit you to. So how does that happen in sales?
Ah, um, well, every day it's not going to happen that you just walk in and every day you're just going to feel like picking up either the phone to make appointments or go on the appointments, etc. It's a choice. So the interesting space that I found has been exciting and more enticing and inviting into this is to understand to what degree are you operating out of fear, and to what degree are you trying to thrive? Are you trying to just get by? Sales is not a good place to be if you just want to get by. If you're just exchanging time for money and, just interested in your base salary, you're not going to do well. It's just not sales is not a good place to be. Sales is a great place to be if you say, I don't want to just get by, I want to thrive. Because when I want to thrive, now I have to understand the upper level contacts in my customer base. Because I'm talking to a business owner, the president, the department head, somebody who has chosen to reach up. Best possibilities. How can we make this better? I got to grow this place. They have goals, right? And so for the sales practitioner to say every day, start your day with, do I just want to get by today? In the absence of a decision, the absence of a choice, that's going to be the default. I just want to get by today. I don't know if I feel like it. However, if I ask myself the question, do I want to live in fear or do I want to thrive? Do I want to thrive today? What will thriving be today? Thrive. Thrive is now, I would suggest, the opposite of fear. It's now I'm excited. I can make myself happy today. Now I make sales calls. Have you ever felt bad after making a sales call?
I love them.
Like even a bad one. I mean, it's a story, right? You never come out of a sales call going, oh, or a day of making sales calls where, well, I made those, I made the calls. I got the numbers that I wanted to. I generated great activity today. I got a prospect here. I got a suspect here. That one now I know not to go back to. I have progress. But I chose that. I choose to thrive. I chose the activity. Now I'm in control. If you're choosing activity, you're choosing the mindset, you're choosing to thrive, that's going to generate a good day. It's all you got to do every day. It's all you got to do.
Seems so easy.
Well, you choose your mindset first, right out of bed. Like right out of bed, before your feet hit the ground. You got to tell yourself what kind of day you're going to have. If you don't, then something or somebody else is going to choose it for you. It's not going to be what you want.
When did that hit you? Yeah, when did that hit you? Like that realization? Because I know it hit me. Like, but when did you come upon that in sales?
Pretty early on. Like way back to Xerox days. Many times since. I mean, it still hits me today. Hit me this morning, Paul. What kind of day do I want to have? It never ends. It doesn't matter when it started. Do you have it now? It's the beauty of an attitude. You can choose it anytime, no matter how good, how bad things are. My sales day starts with what kind of day am I going to have?
And so you connect that to another interesting question, and it goes really back to the identity. But if we're going to choose to thrive, you say that we need to also choose to understand that we're worthy of it. Am I worthy of this? And that is something that gets in a lot of people's way. Like so many, and I coached a ton of reps that is a huge challenge. And so how do you start to dive with somebody on that question?
Yeah. There, a product, if a product is just a commodity and would sell itself anyway, we're not going to have salespeople for that anymore. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
You and I buy stuff on Amazon that I know I need razor blades. I got to buy that stuff. I don't need a salesperson for that. However, most products and what most sales practitioners have to offer has been carefully thought through. It's probably more sophisticated. It probably takes some thought to connect the dots for a customer on what this could be for them. How could this improve your life? This product, this technology, this service. It's like they say our eyes are built for two things: to avoid obstacles and to find value. To avoid obstacles happens naturally. A baby learns that by bumping into things. But to find value, that's a trained skill. And we most often get it with the help from others. So a sales practitioner asks, am I worthy? You are opening eyes all around you. Whatever value proposition you have, first you got to uncover the problem it's fixing, hold it up in front of the customer and say, are you seeing what this is doing to you, the way you're currently doing things? This is the cost. Oh my God. And the customers that want that, I have probably invited you in because of that. Mm-hmm. Show me a way of looking at this that I can't currently see. And that's how salespeople get invited in, right? So is the salesperson worthy? Of course you are. You're uncovering, you're enlightening, you're creating awareness, you're revealing problems, and your value proposition in your solution is more than likely today part of a much bigger value chain that's long term. What you have to offer is most likely part of a big value chain, or else it would be a commodity, and your company wouldn't be needing or hiring salespeople. Salespeople are expensive.
Mm-hmm. So you used a word there. I think it's the first time you've used it in this, but it's good because it sets up my next question I was going to ask, was sales practitioner. Mm-hmm. Right, so you make a very, very, very specific choice in your book. And I told you that I'll cite it as I'm writing mine.
Sure.
But sales practitioner. So why that? Why move on? Why change salesperson or salesman or saleswoman to sales practitioner? What is your motivation there?
Okay, so there, something happened, Paul, a long time ago, decades ago. We have to continually, but certainly have for a lot of years now. We've had to confront this cheesy, sleazy salesperson thing, which is really troubling. It's horrible, right? Yep. So now I ask the question: is sales a good place to be? Is it an honest place to be? And so I would position a statement that's very bold. Sales is the most honest place you'll ever be. You start asking people for their hard-earned money, and you watch things get real fast, right? Mm-hmm. So you mentioned before having to sell to family and friends. We've done a ton of work in the agriculture industry in the last 25 years, working with Cargill now, and it's working with farmers. Fantastic. My God, intelligent people. But if you're a salesperson in a farming community, you're a neighbor. So you're selling to neighbors. That's sacred space. You're selling to neighbors and family and friends and cousins. And, oh my God, everybody says, oh, I'm going to do great. I'm going to get into sales in agriculture because I know everybody. Oh yeah? Go ahead and ask your uncle for money and just see what happens. That's different, boy. Right? I mean, your cousin, your friends, your neighbors. Boy, oh boy. Honesty takes on it. You better be dead honest. So, sales practitioner, where does that come from? I don't want to sell anybody anything that they don't need. That's disgusting. I want to find out, what am I trying to fix here? Is there a problem that I can fix? And I got to prove to myself that there's something. And if I can't find anything, I'll leave. I have to find the problem that is at first unseen. It's hidden. I have to find it. Then I have to fix it. So practitioner is the obvious, mentality. You are a practitioner. A practitioner is trained over a long time. A practitioner is skilled in finding problems in their area of expertise. They have to prove a problem. They have to have evidence, right? And then your solution has to be proven, right? So that's the mind of when you think of practitioner, you think doctor, you think dentist, you think a practitioner, they're very skilled. I don't think when I go see my doctor or my dentist, I don't think they're trying to sell me anything. I think in terms of, you look in my teeth. I don't know what's in there. They're skilled. They look in. The doctor looks inside my body. I can't see inside it. They're a practitioner. They're skilled.
I love it.
So that's it's just a trust and honesty, and it's a practitioner mindset. That's the only salesperson that is around today.
Yeah, I find it more and more that we have to be that type. I love this book. I think it's To Sell Is Human. I think it's Daniel Pink, but he tells a story of a gentleman in there that just because of my last name, I love it. But it was a guy named Norman Hall, and he was the last Fuller Brush salesman in San Francisco. And it tells a story around him, and to understand the concept of the Fuller Brush salesman back in that day, they were actually seen as they were neighbors, they were friends, they were continually going, they were, they'd come in and they'd be asked to babysit the kids for a half hour while the wife went out to get milk. And, and that's something that I was drawn immediately to the story, one, because of the last name, but two, also because it's like the nature of the servant's heart, that the leader's vision, the servant's heart, that it really brought me to it. And it's a wonderful story, wonderful read. I love these concepts that we're presented. We're talking about, they're central, and I absolutely am fascinated about them, and I believe they're true. Where did they come from? Is this based on solely your experience? Is it based on research? How do you go about taking this central angle to identity and purpose and that into sales?
Yeah, from both research in the sense of other books that I've read, podcasts, etc., but personal experience in working with our customers. So we tend to train large sales forces broken down into groups, 15 at a time, all over the world. I was in Singapore in December, and Geneva, and etc. all over North America, South America. Salespeople are the same everywhere. So my own experience of this is very much current time. These last few years, post-COVID, combined with we got the social media digital age, and the availability of the quick information transfer. What if it's WhatsApp or a text or an email, instead of showing up in person, right? Has brought about a massive opportunity. And you just state the obvious. It's available to just send the information, right? Or converse with the comfort of just sending a text and wait to see what happens. So there's to not be live, right?
Yep.
So for those that have chosen to do the opposite, which is now, again, it's very refreshing. That is huge. That is huge. So our discovery of that, certainly it's been like that all along, in the sense that we want to have better and better conversations and connection with customers. But now more than ever, the customer is welcoming the person who wants to come and see them.
Yeah.
They may not say it right away. Oh no, just shoot me a text. I'll just send it an email. Send me the proposal. Not a chance. I have to see you. This is too important. When can we meet? This Thursday good or would Friday be better? We have to meet.
Well, there's actually research that's coming out directly in support of that. It was some of the research that I did in the sales expert paper, but that was derived from, I think it was Gartner or somebody else that was doing research on. There's been a shift back to face, and it's more desired, especially for larger decisions now, where it's like, okay, I really want to look at the person in the eye. I really want to understand it. I want to understand I'm talking with somebody, not something, but somebody.
Yeah.
And so it is coming back. Hey, let me ask you, we're gonna coming on time. We're gonna wrap up, but how do people find you? Like if they want to chat with you about your concepts, and how do they find you online?
Well, one, you can check out my LinkedIn page. Just check Robert Herbst at LinkedIn. Spireselling.com is our website. PAALTD.com is the website of our face-to-face in-person development. And then I have a YouTube channel as well, at Spire Selling. You can reach me there. There's a newsletter that we have out as well that you can find through the channels. All the links, you'll find all the links there, right? I'd love for people to read the book, and I'd love to hear your feedback on it. Right, Cheating Death, and then the other book as well, Spire Sales Culture, is written specifically for sales managers and VPs of sales and on up.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent. And I would again, here's what it looks like for those of you that are watching. Those of you that are listening, you can imagine a book that says Cheating Death on the front. From salesperson to sales practitioner, and I love what you're doing. Love that you're getting out there, elevating the sales profession. Any final thoughts before we close out?
I can't encourage people enough to get into sales at a point in your career. If you're struggling to find a way to get into business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business grad, or any aspect of trying to understand how products connect to people, even if you just want to do it for a few years, go into sales. It's just a wonderful profession. You will cut your teeth so quick. It's an MBA.
Amen. Highly agree.
Yeah.
And I will save my story about getting in for sales for a different day, but I'd love to have you back if you're welcome. If you
I'd love to.
Yeah, we can dive into the manager and VP level stuff. But
sure.
Okay, wonderful. We'll make a date. Let's make it happen in the next 6 or so episodes. We'll have you back on and just make sure.
Love to.
Talk through. Okay, I need the time to read the other book first.
Yeah, we'll get it to you. Thanks so much, Paul. This has been fun.
It's been awesome, Rob. Rob, I found you on LinkedIn. I actually saw a post of yours and I found you there, and I just love your heart for this. Got the book. Highly recommended to everybody. I think that's like the 9th time that I've said it, but yeah, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
Right on. Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. Hey, thank you for listening. Make sure you're doing all the things, the liking, the subscribing, the sharing, the commenting, the posting, all the things that we're supposed to be doing. But we're just here to have great conversations about sales and sales excellence and elevate the sales profession. And as always, we're helping people to keep shining bright. So have an absolutely amazing day. We'll talk to you soon.